All right. I am extremely excited because I just got off a podcast about a topic that I get very nerdy about, and it's the intersection of partnerships and product, pros and cons of partnerships led versus product led, where they intertwine, where they cause problems for each other, and what teams can do about it. So I wrote this article, a while ago. And it's all about where product teams can increase user adoption and shorten sales cycles and help obviously grow the company by involving service provider partners in the funnel mainly. The examples I give are those like DataBox, where they develop this system that allows a partner, in this case, Pepperland Marketing, to showcase a template. And then if I'm a potential user of DataBox, I find this landing page and I can onboard into DataBox using their template, in this case, a partner of DataBox. And it works for everybody because the idea is, and I'm sure the results are this, user adoption is sped up, retention is higher, churn is lower, and potentially upping the account, up tiering the account into a paid account from a free account is a lot faster. The sales cycle is shorter, and everyone wins because Pepperland potentially gets a lead and a client from this funnel. So they want to produce more templates, they want to bring more clients into the system, and everybody is winning. Airtable has their universe. We developed a PRM for their universe. We get free branding and exposure and backlinks. Airtable gets content. Airtable gets landing pages, SEO value, and of course, all those KPIs that I mentioned. The idea is that they go up. Kite.ai, same thing. Playbooks that I can use, published by partners, and I can get into Kite using Gary Vaynerchuk's playbook for building a business, right? Miro, I'll show this last one, a great example, a relatively new one, not even in the article when I'm recording this, but I'll add it. A funnel where Miro reached out to us actually because we had this great journey, and I think it was an email campaign. They talked about how there's launching the Miro universe, and they'd love for us to showcase one of our favorite Miro boards in the universe. So I quickly, within 10 minutes, created this profile, added our Miro board. They sent me back a couple changes they needed. I got them done, no problem. Now anybody can have this template and start using Miro, using this template for partner acquisition and enablement. Great. Everybody wins. Those are the upsides to product-led partnerships, is what we call it. I don't know if anyone else uses that term, but it's what I call it. Now, where there are some downsides. One of the examples that has come up recently was with Zapier, and we talked about it on the podcast. So if you're watching this, there should be a link to the podcast, or head over to makethemfamous.fm to listen to the podcast. But Zapier ran into this problem where if you are a product-led growth organization, you are going to do everything you can on the product side to speed up user adoption and user growth and all of that fun stuff. One of those features that typical product-led Zapier, Airtable's in this mix, a lot of products that we all use, is the ability to share accounts, essentially, where I log into the product and I have the accounts that I'm the owner and creator of, and then I have my shared accounts. Now, if I'm a product-led growth organization, I want my users to invite as many outside organizations to the product. And then if I'm a product-led partnerships strategic org, I'm going to do things like what typical project management tools like Monday.com had a huge case study with partnerships. Their partnership strategy is simple. It's, well, the product inherently requires multiple outsourced organizations to come in and use us in order to succeed. I can't run a project with clients and my clients aren't in the project and freelancers aren't, but those clients and those freelancers hopefully will like the product and they're going to want to go off and start their own account. If I invite you to my Airtable base, you're a client of mine and I'm a partner of Airtable, an expert, well, you're going to go to Airtable, you're going to create your account, you're going to see the base there. Yes, it's under the folder of shared. You don't care, you don't know, it's just you're brand new to it. You're going to start working with me on that base, and maybe we have other bases that we're both shared on. And your only experience with the product is through the shared base, right? Now, that's still under the positive column, the pro. Now, where it becomes a conflict is, back to the Zapier example. Zapier changes the way that they want their partners to onboard new clients into Zapier. And the change is this: instead of you creating a shared folder of Zaps and managing the Zaps that you run for your clients. And if you're not a Zapier user, one of the product-led growth features is I can create a Zap with any SaaS that I have a login for. I don't need to be the owner. Zapier wants to change that because they want your clients to create those accounts and then add you as an admin, and then you log in and you do it through their account. So they get more accounts. So there's a product-led strategy that's user adoption, which is great under the first scenario where I can share accounts and I can create Zaps and manage folders. Partners love it because in that first scenario, I can build service revenue and my clients need me to manage that. Where it's a downside on the product side specifically, and where it becomes a downside on the partnership side is, well, you are now in between, right? And that's kind of a partnerships thing. But you want to be in between on the service side. You don't want to be in between on the account level side. You don't want to be that one holding all the cards, right? Or at least we don't want you to be as a product. We don't want you to be the one holding all the cards. We just want you servicing it. Okay. Well, if you launch the product with that feature, service providers, partners are going to use that feature. They're going to do whatever they do. You can't control them and their business. And then you launch a partner program, and now you want to control their business. You want to say, how are you going to work with us? But they've been doing it in a different way for so long, and it creates friction there. I'll give you one more example. FreshBooks and a number of resell-enabled, I think Active Campaign had a reseller program, but maybe a little different than this example. The FreshBooks example is relevant because I actually experienced it. I got a referral link to join FreshBooks when I was starting a business a while ago. I think it was my first agency. I joined FreshBooks. I created all my client accounts. I started billing and invoicing and doing my accounting XYZ in FreshBooks for a number of years. And then the business got sold or, changes hands. And now I have to take all this and move it to QuickBooks or do something with it. Turns out I could not do what I needed to do, which is migrate that account, because I wasn't technically the owner of the account. Turns out the person who resold me shared a link. I didn't know I was being resold. Had the administrative XYZ. He was the top of the pyramid for all the accounts that he had, quote unquote, resold, even though we didn't know we were being resold. Now that creates a very poor user experience, because now what I have to do is go and start completely from scratch, migrate the data into my from scratch account just before I can even get it into a QuickBooks or another product account. Bad experience, reviews, bad experience with the reseller, wasn't transparent, creates a bunch of issues. The product-led growth strategy for that situation, that company of reselling in that example, didn't really think hard enough and think long-term enough and put themselves in a position to be accessible to the two different types of business models. And I think that's why Active Campaign actually backed away from allowing reselling. And I think why reselling in general is not as prominent as it was 10, 20 years ago in SaaS, especially. The service providers and the partners, they want their customers to own the accounts. And I think that's one of the reasons why. So anyways, I'm recording this video to give you some good examples of where product-led partnerships is successful. But I think the big takeaway is if you are a fast-growing product-led SaaS company, you just have to really consider the fact that service providers are going to be intertwined with your product moving forward. It's going to happen. And you have to have a playbook, a strategy, and a very good understanding of what you're going to do when you launch the formal service provider partner program, knowing what they are probably going to be doing and used to doing with your product. Just know about that. So great top of the funnel examples that we showed, some negative examples that happened down the road with regards to ownership of the account and sharing, etc. And stuff that hopefully will benefit you in the setup and scale of your program.